Elegance isn't about wearing designer labels. It's about the small habits that you practice every single day. It's about your aura. And how do you get your aura? By feeling your most absolute best. My darlings, welcome or welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new here, I am from Kompany and I help you become your best self. So if you're interested in this type of videos, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video to someone who you think needs to start the elegance journey. Let's start with your posture. You need to learn how to stand tall. You need to learn how to sit tall. And how do you do that? By every single time you have it in front of your mind that you have to open your chest. When you're walking and you already know that your posture is bad, then in front of your mind you already know that you have to open your chest. You don't even have to worry about what anybody's doing. And trust me, people don't care about what's happening with you. They already have problems of their own. The last thing anyone is doing on this earth is trying to figure out what's happening with you. That must be a total loser. Like, has nothing to do and jobless, hates his life or her life. All they can do is focus on what you're doing. Those. And you shouldn't even be worrying about them. The fact that they even putting all their journalist skills on you, that's a good thing. It should show you that you're actually doing something with your life. Okay? So even if you're at the grocery store and you just remember out of nowhere that you have to open your chest, you do it. Okay, you do it. The next person will also start doing it. Because why? They're like, oh, I didn't know that, that's the free will that we could all access. It is. There's a lot of free wills that people don't know they can access. People don't even know the fact that free will is a thing. Like, majority of the time, a lot of people are so focused on whatever is going on with their life. They're so focused on the laws and what society says how things should be, that they don't understand they have free will. And an example of free will would be either working a 9-to-5 or starting your own business. Majority of the people do not know that they have free will to start their own business. They are too scared. They choose to rely on the money that another person is choosing to pay them rather than what they choose to pay themselves. Majority of the people don't know that another form of free will is hanging up the call when you're being disrespected. You don't have to be there listening to it. I practice that. The only reason why I practice that is because my father taught me that. And how my father does it is a whole nother thing. My siblings do it all the times. I have 3 brothers, and trust me, the moment that they feel uncomfortable, the moment they feel disrespected, they're hanging up. And I'm the only girl out of 3 boys, and guess what I adapted to? Hanging up. If someone says something to me that I just feel very disrespected and I feel like you won't listen to me when I start explaining, or when I tell you something else that is against what you think, your belief, oh, I'm hanging up. And then we can text whatever, this whole conversation. Let's text it. Because what we're not going to do is have me on the call and you disrespect me and me just sitting there as a full adult and just taking your nonsense as a child. No, I have free will. I'm gonna hang up this call. And when you choose to learn to respect other people and to talk properly and to state your fact without coming for the other person, then maybe I will reconsider not hanging up on you. Anyways, free will is a thing, ladies, and I think you should all practice it. I would love for you guys to know that free will is a thing. So if you're at a grocery store and you decide to open your chest, then you should do that because it's benefiting you. It's helping you with your posture, okay? And this is just my 2 cents that I feel you ladies have to understand, that the spine is connected to so much more than just your back. So much more, like not just your spine, everything. Your bones, your jaws, all those things play such a big role. And another cool fact, it protects your spinal cord, which carries little signals between your brain and rest of your body. How amazing is that? That your muscles, your joints, your nerves, and everything around your spine literally all play a big role. So one wrong move with your bad posture, you know what's gonna happen? You're gonna have breathing problems. You're gonna feel very uncomfortable, and you're gonna have back pains. How amazing is that? It's like a dream come true, right? It's because that's what you want to do. You don't want to work on your posture, so this is a gift for you. And another thing, when your spine or the muscles supporting all that is strained, it does not just affect your back pains. No, there's a lot to that. Like you get fatigue out of nowhere. You may be thinking that people are just stressing you, or your kids are just stressing you. No, it's much more. It's actually you. You are definitely the problem. You know that thing of people asking, am I the problem? Yes, you definitely kind of are the problem, because you're choosing to abandon your whole spine, right? Because you're so scared of what people think. And also, you may be wearing like a $200 t-shirt, and if your spine is not good, if your posture is not good, you look cheap. You look actually very cheap. So do you want to reconsider maybe fixing the spine? Because as far as I'm concerned, you're losing more trying to feel comfortable in the way you've been training your spine and the way your posture has been looking, rather than if you choose to fix it and you choose to save a lot. It's just my 2 cents, and you think about it. Let's move on to your nails. They always have to be groomed. Now, there's a difference between looking tacky and being groomed. When I say it has to be groomed, I'm not saying you should put emojis on there. I'm not saying you should put a duck or Mickey Mouse on your nails. Like, just draw them. Even in Halloween, please don't. They look very tacky. So just don't do it. I'm very nasty. So you shouldn't do it, because I will come on this platform and I will tell you that looks very tacky, and why do you even have it as an elegant woman? Because of a trend? What trend? Who did the trend? Let's start there, because an elegant woman wouldn't even be doing that. But maybe you saw it from a baddie. Maybe, okay, we can reconsider. Then we can reconsider. Are you a baddie? Were you once a baddie? Then we can work with that. Then we maybe can find a solution for you, but just do not draw on them. Your nails have to stay short. They have to, if you're gonna do the whole acrylic thing, have the almond shape, keep it nice and short. It doesn't have to be like a pointy Cardi B sharp. Like, I love Cardi B, but at the same time, she's a baddie. And if you're trying to get that type of look, if you're trying to be that type of woman, then I'm afraid you're at the wrong platform or the wrong channel, because I do not teach you how to dress like that. I did not teach you how to speak like her. I did not teach you how to do anything like her. She's a beautiful lady. We love her music. I also do not write songs. I also do not talk about music here. So, no. Anyways, it has to be well groomed. It has to stay in a very comfortable color. When I say comfortable, is that you can play around now and then, but it shouldn't be a bright yellow. any rainbow nation like that. No. If we're doing rainbow colors, then it has to stay a very neutral color. Like, how can I say it? Like the navy colors, rather than like a very bright yellow. Keep it like a navy, like a dark red, like a dark purple. Or sometimes you can just keep it French or beige. Just keep it in a very dark color rather than a very bright color. I've seen a lot of Gen Zs playing around with the light blue, very cute, but then I'm just saying, dark is your favorite place to be. If you're trying to stay looking like an elegant woman while still exploring with rainbow nations, then keep it dark. You know, you will never go wrong with dark. It won't be shining in someone's eye, so you'll be fine. And majority of the time, every elegant lady that loves to explore, they are doing dark. So stay with dark. Keep it short. If one nail is out, and you know, especially if you're doing like the rainbow nations and one nail is out, so you basically have 4 purple nails and then there's one that's like just your natural color, then you kind of have to get that done. And you should know that by now, that you just cannot be walking on the road with 4 nails that are purple and one that is not purple. We're not doing that. We are not doing that. So it's either you have 2 options. You remove all of them, so we're all 5 now, and you know, it looks very neat. It does not look tacky. Or you're gonna replace that one, which would be cheaper for you to replace the one than removing the whole thing. Again, whatever fits for you. There shouldn't be any sand or any dirt under your nails, not just because you're trying to look a certain way, but because it's a health risk too. Do we not care about our health? Like, at this point, I don't understand. You cook, you do all these things, you're holding a lot of stuff, and why would you want your nails to be dirty? And coming back to the whole point of holding things a lot, make sure you have hand cream, make sure you have hand sanitizer, make sure you have wipes. Those are the 3 things that involves your hands that you cannot lack in your bag. It's the same way as always carrying an extra pad, like a sanitary pad for, not for you. You may not be experiencing your menstrual cycle, but because of a fellow other girl who you may meet on the road, in the bathroom, at the store, who will need it. It's the same way as having a sanitizer, having wipes, and a hand cream. There's always something that, you know, or somebody that will need it. And if you ever saw someone who needed it, you have to offer it. You don't just see it and be like, oh, I'm too shy, or they should have brought it. No, you have it, so you offer it. That's etiquette. My darlings, I hope that you are enjoying this video. If you have not yet, make sure to subscribe, and let's move on to the next part, which involves speaking calmly. You don't have to be the loudest in the room, and you know, you don't also have to do any crazy thing to be noticed. You have to choose your words very carefully. Speak with kindness and let your confidence, you know, come through your composure. Let it come through your posture. Let it come through the way you're dressed and the way you speak, your aura, the way you smell. All those things will speak for you. You don't have to do anything crazy for you to be noticed in a room, especially when you talk. You don't have to raise your voice. Just because 2 people are out here and one of them is speaking slowly and one of them is shouting loud, it doesn't mean the one who's the loudest has more knowledge or is right. They're just very intimidated. Because if I saw 2 people arguing and one of them is very loud, I would think the one that is very loud is very not, you know, is very intimidated by the one that is not screaming. Because at this point you just want a reaction from the other person. But anyways, that's the scenario that I'm trying to tell you, that you don't have to be the loudest, because the one that is the loudest, again, they're the ones that don't have much knowledge. So try to speak in a normal pace. I have gotten so many people that tell me that I speak like a mouse. Like, I literally just, it feels like a whisper. Like, if you've been around me, you have to come closer to me to even hear what I'm saying, because I don't know how to speak loudly. And even if I did try to speak loudly, I would have to go like 2 volumes up. Like, that's it. I'm not like gonna be screaming at you unless like I'm in danger or anything like that. But, and I've gotten like comments from like people that will be like, the video is very quiet, and I'm like, I've passed my limit of how loud I can keep this video. Like, geez. But again, try to speak in a normal pace and try to use proper vocabulary. Try to not cuss. Before I moved to the US, actually, I did not know that free will meant you could cuss. Just because you have free will to it also doesn't mean that you should do it. Just because it's the same thing. Just because smoking is legal doesn't mean you should do it, because it can affect you in a bad way compared to someone else. Some people actually get given drugs because they needed to live, like to survive. So, and it would be another consequence for you who doesn't need it to survive, but you're still choosing to do it. So at some point, you are the one that's gonna actually have it more rough than this person. So just because it's right doesn't mean that you should do it. And another person's reality doesn't mean that it's yours, unless that person is living a very positive life that you aspire to have or live, and you look up to that person. Yes, then definitely you can touch into that reality. If it's anything negative, no. This is where I have to explain even deeper, because it brings up the sense of someone who just lived a basic life, and they're telling you that you can't do anything, like you can't reach your goals because they chose to not touch into theirs. So they give you what the government has fully set. They give you the simple agenda that billions and trillions of people are living in, and they tell you that this is how you can be like us and have your children and all that. That type of person cannot be telling you what to do. They can give you the blueprint, but they can't tell you what to do, because it's your life. We all have 24 hours. Never forget that. They too are living today for the first time. We all have 24 hours. No one has 27 hours. No one has 28 or 30 hours. No, we all have 24 hours. Then the clock restarts for all of us. So they can be giving you what to do. They can suggest things for you, but not what to do. You get to decide that. That's your free will, and you should take your free will every single time. Now, does it mean that you can just do whatever you want? No, that's where knowledge comes into play. But at the same time, your free will is literally your nervous system. Your free will is your will, is you basically. It's you making the decision that this is what's best for me as a whole, not for what's best for anyone here, best for me. And as far as I'm concerned, no one here would literally give up their 24 hours for me. So I'm going to pick my free will, because I know I would give up 24 hours for me. Somebody would come here for 5 hours, which is fine. Another person would come here for 8 hours, which is totally fine. But the person that will be there for you, like long term is always going to be you. So if someone suggests something, you have to think about, what do you want? That's how a lot of people just go to school and they fail. Because why? Because they were handed an agenda that said, go to school, even if you fail, just keep on. And then after you've wasted like 6 years of your life going to school, you've graduated and all that, and still no job. Wallace, you could have invested all that time. You already knew that you were not good at school. It's not like it was a secret. Your free will told you that before you started. Your parents were not in the room. When you were in class, when you were with everyone else, you knew you didn't want to be there. That's your free will. That is the best way for me to explain your free will to you. It's for you to understand that when no one was there, and you were put in a position with an agenda, with someone handed you this thing, someone actually paid for you to be there. So you feel obligated because of someone else's agenda, because of something that was just brought up. Someone just decided to write it down. And what happened? You didn't want to be there. You knew that you didn't want to be there, but you chose to carry on while knowing exactly that you didn't want to be there, that your free will denied it, and you did not put your all. Because if you had free will, you would go all in. If you chose yourself, if you chose what you wanted to do, you would go all in. But the fact that you didn't tells me that it wasn't your free will playing. And in that scenario, what happens? You end up failing, and you have 6 years. Let's say the 7th year, you have no job. The 8th year, no job. Now you have a bachelor's or a master's sitting at, at your shelf, sitting in your house, your room, with no job. You have no job because somebody told you that this is the agenda. Your ancestors have followed it. Your parents have followed it. Your aunts, your cousins. Now it's time for you to follow it. And you knew that you couldn't, but because you loved them so much, you chose to put their free will to speak to you. You chose that over your free will to speak to yourself. And look what it costed you. 7 years of something of your life. You could have built something. You could have done something much more. You could have reached your potential then, but your potential has been delayed 6 years. So now you have to recover it. And how do you recover it? You have nothing saved up. You have nothing. You don't have any savings. You've wasted all your money. The money that you could have invested in putting into something you didn't want to do, you could have invested it into something that you actually wanted to do. You could have invested it in a business. You could have invested it in someone else's business. You could have done so many things, but you lost both your 6 years and the money. Now you have to start from afresh, and the reputation, because now how do you explain to your society that yes, there's just no jobs? So I basically wasted 6 years of doing something that someone else that didn't want me to, someone else wanted me to do. So now I'm here, and the government isn't providing anything. We don't have any jobs open. Now they have to look for a way for you to travel to another country or go to a certain city or all this, or work for your friend or this. Ladies, I hope this is actually clicking for somebody. I hope it actually is. You have to listen to yourself. If a lot of people can give you advice. Take advice, especially from people that have went through certain things that you have. Take it. The reason why advice isn't there is not to tell you what to do. It's just to show you that, hey, there's a stone right there. Okay, you see that road that you're going? There's a stone. It's gonna be on your far right, just 3 o'clock. Okay, make sure that you don't step on that stone. Now, nowhere does it say that advice means turn left? Nowhere does that advice tell you just pick another road. That other road, do you even understand that it's maybe taking you to another town? It's taking you to another city. It's taking you the wrong way. Why are you going there? So remember, advice does not mean change your route. Advice does not mean do anything that you don't want to do. It just means that there's an obstacle right in front of you. It doesn't mean that you're gonna step on it, but it's for you to know that when I went through it, I did see a stone. It may or it may not be there because, again, governments change, systems change. I'm just telling you that there's a stone right in front of you, and when you walk on your right, 3 o'clock, it's going to be there. Maybe, maybe not, but just so you know. And as you're walking, your 2 cents knows that, okay, I was given an agenda, and it clearly said that there's gonna be a stone. Okay, so what do? As I'm walking, I have options now. It's either I'm gonna turn around, not just turn around as in, go back. Turn around as in just diverse the stone, walk across it, or just jump on it, like jump from it, or maybe go the other side and turn around like that. Common sense. Can we all think about common sense? That's an advice. An advice does not mean go back. An advice does not mean do what someone else is doing. So you shouldn't be thinking that someone's life is your life. And again, a lot of us here are out here writing our own lives. So you should write your own life. And if I can write my own life and get what I want, surely you can too. And going back to the whole, learn to speak properly also comes in a manner of etiquette, which I'll make a separate video on this, and it involves saying thank you, please, may you, can I, stuff like that. It does not mean that you have to be apologizing 50 times. One apology is enough. You say sorry, okay, you stand by it. You don't go there the next time you see someone, you're like, sorry again for no. You say sorry, whether they accept it or not, you did apologize. Now you move forward, you're not their slave. So you move forward, you move on with your life. You took accountability, you move on. Okay, and it's the same thing that goes around with you. That if someone says sorry, you don't have to be making them their slave for them to be saying it 50 times that I'm sorry. No, they say sorry, you accept it as a grown adult, and you move on from that. You also don't go around being very nasty to them. You don't act like they owe you something. No. And if they choose to not apologize, there's other ways to go with that. You don't also be acting like, they owe you something, which a lot of people do, but you have to learn to move on. Good things always come to you. Like, you have to be ready and able to just move on with your life. A lot of people have crazy stuff happening to them. You can't be relying on someone else's apology. You don't even know why they got angry. You don't know what got them so pissed that they would react that way. Maybe they regret it too. Some people don't even have the courage to apologize. It doesn't make their mistakes right, but it actually makes their actions human. So don't be putting people's wrong into a stone. Don't do any of that. Move on with your life. You have a billion things to do. Don't you have kids to pick up? Don't you have my videos to watch? Do something. You don't have to be sitting on negative stuff and all that. That's how you get wrinkles, because you're grumpy and closing your face. My granny says that you're closing your face, your eyes are small, and you're you have a very mean looking face. That's how you get all those wrinkles. That's how you age 10 years ahead of your time. Because why? You're just grumpy all the time. No, be happy. Life is for the happy. Life, don't you see that everyone that is just smiling, good things happen to those type of people because they are ready to receive it. They are ready to actually receive it. I'll talk deeper into this in another video, but ladies, you have a lot of time to better yourself. You don't just have to become an elegant woman today. It doesn't work like that. It takes years to become an elegant woman, and even those that consider themselves elegant, they're not elegant. They're not yet elegant. That's how I should say it. No one is elegant yet. We are all trying. There's people that are more elegant than others. There's others that are less than others. But it doesn't also mean that you're not. It just means that you have not reached that perfect statue of an elegant woman. And there's nobody on this earth that has. We all have flaws. There's a lot of us that have problems that we are trying to fix. But the fact that you are actually trying to better yourself, that's elegant. Only an elegant woman will choose to see from their mistake and move on from it, and still choose to be graceful. That's the statue of an elegant woman. Still choosing to be grateful even when life has given you so many chances and so many reasons for you to give up, but you still choose to stand put. That's who I respect. I respect that. I mean, I respect everyone, but my respect, the one that I actually take from the heart, and I'm like, this, I want a portion of whatever that is. The way they carry themselves, how do they carry themselves? I want to learn from that. That's a statue of an elegant woman. The only reason why you guys look up to me, it's because you guys understand that I may know a lot more, but it doesn't make me perfect. It doesn't. The reason why I'm giving you guys advice on how to diverse a lot of things is I actually went through it. I'm not perfect. I've done my share of mistakes. I've also done my share of play. But at the same time, I choose to be better. And from that, I come here and again, I give you guys advice. I'm like, here, there's a stumbling stone on your right, 3 o'clock. Make sure you jump on it. Make sure you do everything not to step on that. Let's move to the final 2, which is dress properly and don't forget your hair. Ladies, your clothes does not have to be expensive. It does not have to be all that. As long as your clothes is ironed, as long as your clothes does not have any stains, as long as your clothes has all the buttons and doesn't have a bunch of colors on it, like a lot of bleached colors. So if your clothes is a white top, it needs to stay white. If it's a blue pants, it needs to stay fully blue, the blue that it came with, not another shade of blue when you washed it. No, as long as those are good, you are good. Okay. And again, don't repeat clothes like back to back, because at the same time you are human, you sweat, and when you sweat it stays on your clothes. So if you wear it again and you keep adding moisturizer, you keep adding oil and perfume and mixed with the sweat, that's why you would still be clean and still smelling very ugly, because you're mixing a lot of fragrance on your body mixed with the sweat. So don't repeat clothes back to back unless you're like washing it in between, then that's fine, but don't wear it back to back without cleaning it. And some clothes has to go to the dry cleaners. You can't just wash it. Okay, I know one of my coat, and if a lot of my items, I can't just wash it by myself. I know that. So you have to read your tags. You should know that. You have to read your tags. You have to understand which clothes you can and cannot wash, which fabrics you can and cannot wash. You should read that. And also about your hair, wash your hair make sure that it's moisturized. That's how it grows. Wash your hair frequently. I know back home as an African woman, the way I was taught and the way my siblings were taught, and my cousins, and all the ladies, was that you have to try your best to not wash your hair as much, in a whole month. So we would not wash our hair as much, which I'm surprised it did grow. But in theory, and based on research, you actually have to wash it as much for it to grow, which makes a lot of sense that way. But your hair best, try to do that. I'm just saying, wash your hair and keep it clean, keep it moisturized. If you're doing a slick back, have your gel ready. And if your gel has like those, it leaves white, I know some gels leave like a white patchy thing, go over it with a setting spray. Like, try your best to make that very invisible, okay? That'll save you a lot, and it won't come out as you having dandruff or your hair is dirty. You just imagine your hair is not dirty, it's just the glue. How do you start explaining that? Because the moment you start explaining that, you have lost so much aura. So just avoid that. Anyways, my darlings, I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it for you all. I will speak to you all, beautiful women, next time, okay? Bye.